It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. And that's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated with style and durability. You can trust Tervis tumblers to keep your drinks the perfect temperature, hot or cold, for hours. From the classic insulated tumblers to sleek stainless steel water bottles, each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Since our founding, we've been revolutionizing hair removal with cutting-edge technology and a commitment to empowerment. The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. Experience the future of hair removal today at ulike.com, because at U-Like, beauty is about looking and feeling good. That's ulike.com. U-Like. With Ease US, make studio-quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects, featuring 468 natural AI voices. Customize the volume, mood, and pauses to perfectly match your content. Plus, capture high-quality videos with no watermark. Record your screen, webcam, and voice, and save them instantly to your computer. Never been easier to create professional-grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Just use AMP-Pace.
AMP-Pace.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. We are live here in downtown Central Texas on the 21st floor of the Alico building. Thanks so much to Slovacek's, Crawford Austin Properties, Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers, Extraco Bank, and, of course, our good friends at Socorro Family Ford. If you're on 35, if you're going from Dallas to Austin, Austin to Dallas, Waco to Dallas, you got to stop at Slovacek's, all right? You've never had kolaches like this. And if you're gearing up for a big event, they can hook you up with all the kolaches you need. Actually, you'll have to pay. They won't hook you up. But ask for Ray, and he'll take good care of you. We're starting off the show with a guest. We don't really do this, but when you can have like Howard Stern changed up his time to welcome Madonna one day, I know that. And so, Murph Barton only has a finite amount of time with us, and he joins us live from Villanova, Pennsylvania. Murph, by the way, how about this shirt, dude?
It's all. I was just about to comment on that. That's amazing. Where'd you get that?
All
The
right,
assassin.
Murph. Huh?
The assassin.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The one problem is he actually did paralyze one guy. So I was thinking, like, if somebody sees me with this on, would they get pissed? But whatever. You know?
Nobody remembers that except for you.
What's going on over there at the house? Megan's got you all set up, huh?
She does. Yeah, she hooked me up. She improved the lighting in here. She's letting me use the office, and I'm going to play golf this afternoon. I got a big match.
All right. Well, let's get you in the
So I'm
mood,
psyched.
okay?
Yeah.
You're here to talk about the PGA Championship, 107th edition, and it's going to be in Quail Hollow. I want to start with the course in Charlotte. Any golfer in particular that this course favors?
I mean, Rory has owned this golf course. Jordan Spieth the other day was joking around with them. Rory said to Jordan, "I hope you get it. I hope you get the Grand Slam because all Jordan needs is to win the PGA to complete the Grand Slam." And Jordan said, "No chance. It's not going to happen at Rory McIlroy Country Club." I mean, he's won, I think, 3 or 4 times there. He's every time he plays, he does well. It really sets up well for him. It's a super long golf course. There's a couple holes with dog legs where if you can really drive the ball like Rory can, you can kind of cut corners and hit it over the trees and shorten the length of the hole. And Rory, Bryson, maybe 1 or 2 other guys are capable of doing that. So it's a big advantage for him.
How do these guys attack a course like that plays long? Like guys who don't normally typically have long drives or, hit long.
They struggle. It's tough. I mean, they really have to play extremely well. I saw something that the average length of an approach shot at Quail Hollow is 183 yards, which is really long. I mean, it's tough to get it close to pins from that distance. And a guy like Rory or Bryson, if the average is 183, they might be 143, which is a wedge, rather than a 6-iron. So that's a huge advantage. The other guys just have to hit fairways. If you're playing from the rough from 200 yards away, you're not going to win.
Okay, so you mentioned Rory and Scotty. I do want to ask. Scotty Scheffler just won, I guess, the Byron Nelson, right? Bryson has been playing really well on Live, and obviously we know Rory's had a bunch of wins this year, including the Masters. Out of those 3, I guess it's obvious you think Rory is the favorite coming into this tournament, correct?
I mean, I think it could be any of those 3 guys. I think it really has a chance to set up to be an epic Sunday. I mean, Scotty's iron play is just way better than everybody else's. He doesn't bomb it quite as far as Rory and Bryson, but he hits his irons just way better than everybody else. So even if he's hitting from 183, he'll be sticking it close to the pin. Scotty's last tournament he played in was in Texas, and he almost set the record for lowest round on a PGA or lowest cumulative score on a PGA Tour event. He does not have a long history at Quail Hollow. I think he played in like the Walker Cup there as a kid, but he hasn't ever played in the Wells Fargo or what's now the Truist. Bryson's only played there a couple times, but I think both times he was top 10. So you can expect good things out of Bryson. The only question he can certainly bomb it. He's going to cut all the corners that you can cut. He'll be close on holes where other guys are hitting from far away, but Bryson's iron play is inconsistent. And if he's not hitting his irons well this week, I don't think I'm not going to bet on Bryson this week, even though he's definitely clearly one of the favorites.
Speaking of Rory and Bryson, I was just reading an article on ESPN that just came out, something you probably already knew about, but I mean, obviously we all knew they didn't talk, right, during that last round in the Masters. Like Rory just kind of shut him out because he was being a competitor. And Rory said, if we're lucky enough to play with each other again on the last day, Bryson should be prepared to play in silence again. What do you make of that? Is that like
I think it's so bizarre that Bryson even brought that up. I think a ton of golfers don't really want to interact on a Sunday at the Masters. They want to stay in their own bubble, stay focused. I think that's super common. I'm not sure why Bryson brought that up. I don't think that meant anything. I don't think Rory was trying to freeze Bryson out. I think, Rory probably did know that Bryson loves to play to the crowd, and he probably just did not want to get involved in that. Just stay focused on his game plan, interact only with his caddy. And it's super common for golfers to do that. Some guys love to talk the whole time. It keeps them loose. And some guys just want to be in their own world. I saw a bunch of interviews with other golfers that were kind of surprised that Bryson made an issue out of that.
It's funny.
Bryson's a goober, dude.
He is. He seems like
totally.
kind of yeah. Is
yeah,
he a douche?
I kind of think so. Yeah, he's not one of my favorites.
It was funny because when you watch the Masters, that opening round, like it was sort of brilliant how Bryson came out. At least it seemed like it did, right? Like he was engaged with the fans. He was hot off the first tee. He obviously couldn't keep it up, but it seemed like had a method, right, to try to get
100%. He definitely, that was his strategy for sure.
Yeah.
I think he thought he could get into Rory's head if he could start off well, get the crowd behind him, because Bryson does have a lot of fans. I mean, he has a super popular YouTube channel. He's very active on social media. He's constantly doing little gimmicky things on TikTok. People like him. I mean, he's a good looking dude. He hits the ball 400 yards. He's like a meathead on the golf course.
Yeah.
And it's a nice change up from your typical pro golfer. So he does have a big fan base. And I think he thought that he could use that to his advantage. And that's probably partly why Rory just decided to hey, I'm going to stay out of this.
All right. So back to the PGA, Jordan Spieth, you mentioned he's been playing finally for him, right? He's been playing some good golf recently. Where is he at coming into this tournament? Like, where do you think his head's at? And quite possibly, could he achieve the Grand Slam?
I would love it. I would certainly be rooting hard for him, but I don't think so. There's certainly been signs of life. He's driving the ball great, which is unusual for him. His iron play has always been a huge strength. And there's just, Jordan has a little bit of magic sometimes. He can catch lightning in a bottle and just pull off insanely difficult shots. He'll chip balls in from the bunker, make 50-foot putts. I mean, he can really, when he gets rolling, he can really get rolling, but I just don't think he has the confidence. I've heard him interviewed a bunch. He's working on a lot of swing changes. Swing changes are really tough in golf. It's tough to trust this new process that you're trying to take on. And I'm not sure, he doesn't seem like mentally he's fully there and committed to his new game. I hope he does well, but I'm not betting on him.
What's the word around the tour? Like, are people excited to go to Charlotte for this? Is Charlotte are they oh, this is another example of how the PGA can be a little lame? It's
yeah. I don't think the players, I don't think they love this golf course. I think it's a real grip it and rip it golf course. There's not very much strategy. It's really long, so you have to hit driver off every tee. There's just just try to hit it as far as you can and then figure it out from there. A guy that used to play on tour, Hunter Mayhem, had a great quote. He said, "I guess I would say Quail Hollow is like a Kardashian. It's very modern, beautiful, and well kept, but it lacks a soul or character," which I think kind of sums up the way a lot of people feel about it. It's cool. It looks good on TV. I mean, I'm excited as a fan. They have the Wells Fargo, or now the Truist, there every year. It's always a great tournament. It's an elevated event typically. And, there's usually a lot of drama on Sunday. So I think it's going to be a great tournament.
It's actually the one place where I've been to a couple tournaments there. I went to the Wells Fargo a couple times, got wasted. It was back when I was drinking. I actually saw Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods play together at Quail Hollow. It was
wow.
leading up to the Wells Fargo.
The Pro-Am.
2007 or 2008. Right. It was pretty cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah. So when you talk about this tournament, and I love how you're transparent about the possibility you could be wagering. First, I want to ask you kind of a simple one. Give me a star who won't win, like somebody who people are talking about coming into this event, who you think that will not win.
That's tough. I guess I'll go with Xander Schauffele. He's coming off an injury. He's won the PGA last year, obviously, and he's a great player. Typically, I would be all over him, but he's coming off an injury, and he's just not hitting his driver well. His stats are not good off the tee, and I think to win this week, you're going to have to hit it into the fairway. It's too long of a course to be playing from the rough, so he certainly can do it. He's a good enough golfer, but if I'm going to fade one of the top guys, it'd probably be him.
All right, give me a sleeper that can win the tournament. Somebody who you really
I don't know
like
if he's
their
a sleeper, but I think John Rahm, I think the whole narrative around him is that he's kind of done since he went to Live. And I think, he's playing well on Live. I don't really know what that means, but he comes in top 10 every tournament. I don't think he's missed the top 10 once. He played horrible on Thursday at Augusta, but then he kind of pulled it together. He played really well on the weekend. So there were some signs of life. 2 years ago, John Rahm was the best golfer in the world. I'm not sure that is complete. His game is completely lost. I would not be surprised at all if John Rahm comes in here and wins it this week, because I know he cares about his legacy. He hears all, the voices in the media saying Rahm's cooked, he's washed, he's done. And he's a super competitive dude. I would think he's looking to come out and make a statement this week. And he has the game, he hits it far off the tee. He's incredible iron player. He can definitely get it done.
Are guys going to Live and getting lost in the shuffle? Is that happening?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, what do you mean by lost in the shuffle? I mean, I haven't seen DJ play a good round of golf in 2 years. Rahm has been non-existent. I don't know where Brooks Koepka is. Like, is he playing good golf? Like, nobody watches Live. They get like 15,000 people watching their tournament.
People used to leave. I mean, this is like 10 years ago, but if a big time talent would leave ESPN, and you'd kind of like when Michelle Beadle left for NBC Sports, you know what I mean? Like, and you'd be like, wait, where does this person even go?
Yeah.
And I think that they're getting paid, right? And they're playing golf, so they're happy. But I do think they get a little lost in the pop culture or zeitgeist or whatever of golf.
Big time. And I think, there's rumors that a lot of those guys want to come back, that Bryson and Brooks and some of those guys want to come back.
Like, dude,
it'll be really interesting to see if they let them come back, because
you watch golf
they're
all
obviously
the time. Do you
What's
put
that?
on Live events?
No, I mean, I have in the past. Let me check it out, and I can't watch it. It's corny to me. They have music going. It's just, I don't understand the scoreboard on the left side. They have some team thing that's like pointless. Nobody cares about. It's weak. The courses they play are weak. They're like resort courses that don't look good on TV. It's a bad product.
It's actually a bit of a bad look for the Saudis, because they're going to get into like owning basketball teams, like all that stuff's coming, right? And and they got to just back off of like they got to let it be traditional, I think. I don't know if
I understand what they were trying to do. I think there's a huge part of the golfing public, like your average Joe that plays golf, that rides around in a golf cart. They have tunes going, they're drinking beers. Like, that's the way they view golf. And the PGA Tour could be seen as like a little stuffy and, not relatable to your average golfer. So I could see how Liv thought, hey, maybe this will work out. Maybe this, people will love this vibe. But so far, it just hasn't translated.
Okay, a couple more. I know you got to go. Give me a top 10 lock.
A top 10 lock. I mean, I think Rory's a top 10 lock. I would be shocked if Rory doesn't play well this week. I mean, everything is setting up for Rory. And, a little bit of a more like dark horse top 10 that I think is really likely to play well would be Patrick Reed, who's on Live, has always played great at Quail Hollow. I think he came in 4th at the Masters last month. So he's playing well, and the guy he's always done great at Quail Hollow. So I think I'm definitely going to bet on Patrick Reed to top 10.
Okay. And then give me your winner.
I'm kind of back and forth right now between Scotty and John Rahm.
Oh, okay. So
I
not
think
Rory.
Scotty's gonna win. I think he's playing great. I think his iron game is too good. Remember last year at the PGA, he got thrown in jail, which was
That's
crazy.
right.
He was playing so well leading up to that. It was almost like a done deal that he was going to win that tournament. He got totally thrown off, I'm sure, by spending the morning in jail, having to rush to the course, head right out to the tee. So I think this is kind of his revenge, and he's just so good. He's better than everybody else, and I think he's going to win.
One of the best broadcasts I ever had in Charlotte when I was doing radio. I got thrown in jail the night before, and I got out and they hustled all over.
It motivated you, lit a
Like,
fire under you. Yeah.
Nobody was outside waiting for me when they let me out of jail. I can promise you that. All right, a couple things for you. We got you on the PGA. A little speed round for you. Pete Rose, does he get into the Hall of Fame?
He should.
Okay. Do you care?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. I mean, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. His stats are too good. He's too important to the game of baseball. He seems like a total scumbag in life. But is the Hall of Fame meant to? Is that meant to matter to the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
To me, it shouldn't. Like the guy's impact on the game of baseball, he should be in the Hall of Fame.
What would your grandfather, Joe Rogers, say? Like Villanova football coach, lifetime sports guy. If he had to weigh in on Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame, what would he say?
I think he would say he should be in.
Okay.
I think he was a Pete Rose fan. Charlie Hustle. He loved the way he played.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. NBA Finals. Who's going to win the NBA Finals?
Oh, man. I would have really bet a lot that the Celtics were going to win. I'm shocked that they're losing, and now Tatum's out. OKC probably has the best team. I think the Pacers-Knicks is going to be a great series. I hope the Knicks win. I'm a big Villanova fan, but I don't think either of those teams could beat the Thunder or Jokic.
All right, Tony's going to get upset about this question because he's not here to answer it. How good is the Pope for Villanova right now? Like, is that like no? It's honestly, does that equal like 2 basketball championships won? Like, what's the equivalent?
That's a great question. I really don't know. Tony's got a lot of opinions about that. I think it's a huge deal. I think it's really just so cool for the university. I live right next door, and the day that it was announced, there was helicopters, people outside, bells ringing. It was really cool. And living in Philly, it's all anyone's been talking about for the last week and a half. And I know your mom has a relationship with the now Pope, which I think is so cool. And I'm proud of it as a Villanova grad. Like it's very cool.
It's very
and
cool.
I do think it will elevate Villanova in the national conversation. Maybe it gets us right up there with Notre Dame as like the elite Catholic university. We were already probably just a tier below, but I think this definitely gives us a boost.
I asked my mom, I was like, can I talk about it on the show? I said, do you want to do an interview? She was like, and I go, all right. She goes, don't say anything either. I was like, well, I kind of already did. What did you say? I told her what I said, and she was like, that's fine. You can say it, but not me. I don't want to be that person.
Right.
All right, so last one. Should they put Diddy in prison or under the prison, dude?
Dude, I have not really been following. I saw a little bit of Cassie's testimony yesterday. It sounds brutal, dude.
I mean, dude, this guy, who knew?
It's unbelievable. And it's funny because you look back and a lot of the rappers have been talking about Diddy like he's a scumbag for 10, 15 years, but I never knew what they were talking about,
Yeah.
But I think he's done. I mean, doesn't seem like there's any way out. There's too many witnesses, too many people popping out of the woodwork. I mean, the future's not bright for Diddy.
They interviewed yesterday. One of the witnesses was, and I think it was for the defense, was a adult film star who was brought into the threesomes with them. I mean, it was like crazy, dude. And this guy was like, he was kind of wishy-washy and he helped out the defense, but then he didn't help the defense because he had no credibility. It's a wild deal. I listened to a Dateline on it when I went to bed last night. It is like, it's mind-blowing type theater.
Yeah, I got to check it out. I've been super into the Karen Reed trial. I don't know if you're familiar with that. I'm so into that. I'm so into that, so I have not been paying much
She's gonna
attention
get off,
to Diddy.
dude.
She should get off. I mean, I kind of think she did it, but the whole case that the Commonwealth made is just so full of holes. There's so much shady shit going on with all the police officers. Like, I don't see how they can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she did it.
No, that's exactly right. You're looking at it from legal terms. There's no way. All right, 10:27. I know you got to get out of here. Murph,
Perfect.
Unbelievable job, dude.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, good luck. Oh, by the way, if you were you're going to play golf this afternoon. If you were going to play at Quail Hollow, a practice round today, and you were teeing off tomorrow at 7 a.m. when it starts, what do you think you would shoot? Real talk.
The way the course is set up for these guys?
Yeah.
100 at least.
No, that's not true.
And I'm a 5 handicap. Yeah, it's way too long for me. Way too long. That course would absolutely own me.
I believe
the rough is super long.
I think you'd make the cut.
All right, buddy.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
See ya.
Thanks, Murph.
Later.
All right, that's Murph B. Giving us everything we need to know about the PGA Championship and obviously Karen Reed and the World Series, or Pete Rose, I'm sorry, in the NBA Finals. Always freaking great talking to him. We'll be back. When we come back, we're going to talk to you a little bit about whether I think Pete Rose should get into the Hall of Fame. BYU, major addition to their athletic department. We'll sink our teeth into that. And there's a new movie coming out, or a new show, and it has something to do with this shirt I'm wearing right now. I am excited. The Pete Sousa Show, presented by Slovacics, rolls on after this.
Did you know nearly all stock price changes of 10% or more result from a single news headline? These news catalysts create trading opportunities every day. All you need is a little help to reach out and take them. It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
OsleyMD.com.
I've always had thin hair my whole life. It breaks off at a certain length. In the last 6 months, I've noticed it just really bad. I mean, you could totally see it. I wear a hat a lot. I tried several different products. My experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
OsleyMD.com.
Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's GOLFPARTNERUSA.com. Golf Partner.
Since 2003, Bluehost has been empowering people to harness their brands online with innovative web hosting solutions. Trusted by over 2 million users, we're the longest-running WordPress.org recommended host. With Bluehost, you get a safer, better web experience, supported by the world's most popular site builder, and backed by our commitment to open source projects. Visit Bluehost.com today and take your website to the next level.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internex.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress. It's like a wearable hug for your nervous system that helps you calm down and feel better. The Apollo wearable will send gentle vibrations to your body, like a song you can feel instead of hear. You feel better, you sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Elevate your experience with Grenco Science, the leaders in cutting-edge vaporizers. Whether you're at home or on the go, our sleek, powerful devices deliver smooth, consistent hits every time. Quality you can trust, innovation you can feel. Grenco Science. Take your vapor game to the next level. Visit us at GrencoScience.com.
It all began with a simple idea, cutting handles off old ski sticks to create better pull-up bars. This sparked the creation of the revolutionary Angles 90 handles. After testing over 70 prototypes with 300 athletes, our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Angles90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Okay, quick local update, Central Texas update, Big 12 update, Baylor football update. Yesterday afternoon, Ashton Hawkins, we had talked about it. There were a ton of rumors around the Baylor football program, and it's so funny how rumors work, right? The rumor we heard was that Ashton Hawkins had been hit up by a collective, more than likely the Matador Club out of Lubbock and Texas Tech, and that they were going to poach him from a surging Baylor football program, right? Surging in next season. That is not true. But the rumor about Ashton Hawkins and coming back and playing for Baylor and the questions around that was very real. Yesterday, he announced on Instagram Live that he would not receive his extra season of eligibility, as the NCAA had originally expected. And that was because of the JUCO eligibility rule, that he would be granted another year of eligibility. And then in typical NCAA fashion, and I don't want to climb all over the NCAA right now. I almost think that's would be somewhat lazy of me because I don't know exactly how we got here to this conclusion. But I have a feeling like everybody needs to chill, like Baylor fans. I have faith actually in the NCAA, and I have faith that this will get rectified. And like, honestly, if I learn more about this, because you can read what you can read, but if I get a chance to talk to people around the program, around Ashton Hawkins himself, and I can figure out what's happening, I'll surely share that with you. But right now, I don't have like any kind of decisive information from the inside that could allow me to say, this is complete BS, or this is okay. I'm not going to fake this hyperbolic take on information I don't have. But I will say, here's a reason to believe. Okay, shortly after Baylor released a statement, and our buddy Cam Stewart tweeted about it, and really, so, Ashton makes the Instagram Live, Cam tweets about it. That really got a ton of movement. And then ultimately, Baylor released a statement last night. This is probably about late last night. Baylor said, quote, "We intend for Ashton to be a part of our program this upcoming season and are actively working with the NCAA to explore eligibility options." That's a spokesperson for the athletic department told Sikkim 365. I would imagine that's Brett Ingram, who is the man. And at this time, Baylor has no further comment. So, he just spent all of spring ball playing for Baylor. And I would imagine it's just a heartbreaking situation for him. We've talked about it ad nauseum. I love the dude. He's got grit. He's got huge hands. He can be a possession guy. He can also get behind coverage. And he raises, a rising tide raises all ships, right? This dude is a competitor, and he's a bad dude. One of those guys, like, walking around campus upon first sight, you're like, wow, like, this may not look like a Baylor student. Now, on the outside, it doesn't matter. It's what's on the inside, right? Great kid, great attitude, and a little bit of edge. And as we all know, folks that love Baylor, we can use a little bit of edge there, right? Follow the guidelines, like, do the right stuff and have a little bit of edge. That's all good. So that's a quick update on Ashton Hawkins. Really hope that he ends up back with Baylor. And the more we learn about the situation, maybe we get passionate about it here. right now, I just think it's heartbreaking for Ashton. Yeah, no surprise the NCAA would pull a move like this, and hopeful he'll get back, right? Yesterday, a big story, obviously, something I got to talk about, Pete Rose. And 7 months after his death now, Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred, notably Rose and a couple dudes from the Black Sox scandal from 1919, the Chicago White Sox, obviously, their gambling scandal with Shoeless Joe Jackson. I think there was another guy too. They're now eligible to be voted into the Hall of Fame. They're just eligible, right? I thought a great quote or a great tweet from Bob Ryan. Let's share that right now. This was something I thought was phenomenal. Pete Rose will now be eligible for the Hall of Fame in consideration. Never forget that while Pete Rose may have loved baseball more than anyone on earth, he loved gambling more. And I think that is a reflection into Pete Rose himself, right? And I grew up in Philadelphia. I was a kid, very young, like super young, like 2, when the Phillies won the 1980 World Series. I actually remember when they got eliminated in the 1983 World Series, a World Series where Pete Rose wasn't even playing every day at that point in time in Philly, and that led to him leaving the Phillies to go play for the Expos. Ultimately, after the Expos, he's recruited back to Cincinnati to be a player manager. Great for the Reds at the time, great for baseball at the time, and the Reds were actually super competitive. They could never get over the hump, but they constantly were competing in the NL West, usually falling to about 2nd or 3rd by the time the season would come to an end. And then, obviously, everything broke. I think it was prior to the 89 season. And Pete gets a lifetime ban from baseball. Now, here is my quick assessment of the situation. Pete Rose was a champion on the field. He literally, he was the kind of guy, after winning championships with the Reds, where he was so instrumental, right? He comes over to Philadelphia, infuses that winning DNA into the the Phillies clubhouse. I think he married an Eagles cheerleader when the Eagles were wearing helmets like this. So there you go. And but he was kind of a loser off the field. There's enough evidence there, and I think you can look no further than the way he handled this scandal. Gambling, you're talking to somebody who's 13 years sober, right? And it took me 10 years to get 1 year. Right? Addiction is an MFer, right? As gambling addiction, I've never had that addiction, but I can't even imagine how bad it is, right? But I certainly had the other addiction. And I know that the freedom for me came, and my ability to live a life literally beyond my wildest dreams was admitting that I had all these problems. You got to come clean. And I wasn't Pete Rose, so it was probably a little easier for me. But Pete lied about it. He got caught, and then he lied. And the crime was nowhere near as bad as the cover-up. And even till his dying day, he never admitted that he bet on the Reds or bet while he was a player, right? And then there's so much evidence, mountains really, and it was uncovered in, I think, 2015 by ESPN, that he, in fact, did bet on baseball as a player manager for the Reds. So there you got check 2 boxes, right? As a player and a manager. And, there's so many other stories about Pete's personal life that just sort of show you, man, this guy probably wasn't the best dude. And if he had admitted immediately or even before he died, if he just came clean about everything, I think the conversation would have been much different. And I think the conversation probably would have taken a big time turn 10, 15 years ago, but he never did that. And the issue he's up against now, I would love to see him get into the Hall of Fame just because I'm maybe part degenerate like Pete, I guess. And he brought so much to my life, so much value when I was a kid. And I think he brought a lot of value to sports in general because, growing up, you want to be like Charlie Hustle, right? Just an all-time winner. But the issue is, again, how he handled it off the field. And for anyone that's in Pete's camp now, as he's been passed away, died 7 months ago, is the sports writers, that have to vote him in potentially, they probably won't do it either. So even though you're excited, they probably won't vote him in either. And if they do, they can't vote on it. Their next vote is coming up on these guys will be December of 2027. So like the Menendez brothers have like a much better shot of smelling freedom real soon than Pete Rose, the late Pete Rose and his supporters do of smelling the inside of the Hall of Fame, right? And him being enshrined, which sucks, but that's just where we are. And the circumstances suck because Pete lied. And he lied again and again, and he's got to be accountable for that. And it hurts for me to say it. Again, I would vote him in, but just because I would. I just would. I think his contributions to the game they outweigh his transgressions. But, I don't get a vote. And I'm not, part of the criteria, if you look at it, and I looked at it, is character, and geez, I don't know. So more will be revealed on Pete Rose. More will be revealed on the Pete Sousa show. We got a couple more things. Actually, let's do one more before. I got one last thing to talk about, but I want to talk about this one last thing in the third segment, and I'm going to tell you how BYU can actually get even better with the addition, a new big addition to their athletic department. But first, I want to talk about this. I got this shirt on today. Well, because it's awesome, right? Look at that. I mean, come on, dude. And I've been in the weight room, so I'm getting a little bigger. This is like an extra large, so don't be fooled. Whatever, Zach. Okay, like you can't get a better T-shirt than that, right? Jack Tatum, the assassin. Okay, the silver and black. I was walking the dog this morning, and I was thinking about like this affection that I have for the Raiders. I grew up an Eagles fan, but I also grew up a fan of NFL films, and the Autumn Wind, and the Raiders, and the silver and black, and Al Davis, and John Madden, and Tom Flores, and John Matuzak, and this was the place where the Outlaws went to flourish, right? And it was show up, play football, and off the field, you're just going to do what you're going to do. You're going to be a Raider, right? And that worked for so long. Clearly, it hasn't worked recently, but there is such a shine and allure around the old silver and black and guys like Jack Tatum, right? Guys like Lester Hayes, guys like Willie Brown that I've been intoxicated with the silver and black for a very long time, dating back to when I was a kid. And I'm scrolling through Twitter yesterday, and I apologize. I had no idea about this, so you can imagine why the Waco Fire Department had to come in and hose me off after I saw this. Check it out. Get out of here. That is Nicolas Cage as John Madden and Christian Bale as Al Davis, okay? This is not Barry Pepper playing Mickey Mantle, okay? This is Christian Bale playing Al Davis, an Oscar winner. Like, are you kidding me? Amazon, thank you. Nick Cage, all I ask is that you keep it together and don't blow this thing for us, right? Like, I don't need you to go for it like it's 9mm. It's not, okay? And I don't need it to be like that last comedy you did about your life with the dude from The Last of Us. What's his name? Pedro Pascal, which every woman in America now thinks he's the GOAT. And props to Pedro. He's very funny, very handsome, and he's got a ton of range, right? But I just need Nick Cage to just tone it down and not ruin this experience for us. It's a show on Amazon, and let me tell you, I can't wait, okay? And it already looks like, it's not some dude who's out of shape and that never caught a football before playing Aaron Hernandez. Like, I've struggled a little bit, and Cam and I have talked about it, like these documentaries, these nonfiction films, like biopics, right, that turn into movies, or these nonfiction situations and pieces of history that get turned into movies. They can go left real fast. I've got faith. I've got faith because you've got an Oscar winner playing Al Davis. That this is going to, I think, 2 Oscar winners. Did Nick Cage win an Oscar? Yeah, I think he did, right? I know Cher won one, or no. Olympia Dukakis won and supporting actress for Moonstruck, where Cher stole the show, working with Nick Cage. But Nick Cage, Leaving Las Vegas, that was it, right? He won Best Actor for Leaving Las Vegas, right? So Nick Cage can dig in his bag and really come up with masterful performances, although it's been almost 30 years. So I'm stoked about that, and I cannot wait. Thank you, Amazon. Thank you, Christian Bale, for being a part of something so special, lending your amazing acumen on stage and in the movies to us. Because everybody knows, if you watch this show, that I love Al and I love the Raiders. And the will to win, a commitment to excellence. I mean, I told you last week I watched the Al Davis, Pete Rozelle 30 for 30 again, just because. And it's amazing because they use so much great real news footage to document the rivalry between Al and Pete Rozelle. Just two guys that meant so much to me when I was growing up. And we'll have to do another show for that entire situation. All right, one more segment left. Stay with us. I'm going to tell you how BYU can actually get better with the appointment of a new member to their athletic department. Stay with us. Pete Sousa Show rolls on after this.
For 75 years, Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. No gimmicks, just durable, well-designed bottles built to last. Join us in our mission to amplify life, not complicate it. Because at Nalgene, what goes into our bottles matters as much as the adventures they fuel. Explore more at nalgene.com. That's NALGENE.com. Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Since 2003, we've been connecting buyers and sellers, providing access to sold-out events at prices lower than most secondary market options. Whether it's sports, theater, or concerts, our massive nationwide network ensures you get the tickets you want, guaranteed. For the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. That's TICKETLIQUIDATOR.com. Ticket Liquidator.
I'm Hunter, the founder of Hello Cake, and today we're digging into ED meds. The #1 thing we hear is that guys are sick of waiting for ED meds to kick in. Traditional ED meds take about an hour to kick in as they have to go through your digestive system, where Hello Cake's ED medication dissolves under your tongue and works in about 15 minutes. That's about 3 times faster than traditional ED medication. Curious about ED meds? Go to hellocake.com.
InMotion is more than just a name. It's a legacy of innovation. From supplying electric vehicle parts like motors and inverters since the 1960s to creating cutting-edge electric scooters, hoverboards, and unicycles, InMotion is shaping the future of mobility. Whether you're looking for industrial power solutions or accessible personal transport, InMotion has you covered. Explore our products and experience the future of movement. Visit store.inmotionworld.com today.
Is your Mac running slow? Mac Booster 8 is your all-in-one solution to clean up 20 types of junk files, remove malware and viruses, and protect your device. It also optimizes your Mac's hard disk, fixes disk permission issues, and cleans memory, all to boost your Mac's performance to the max. Get your Mac running like new again with Mac Booster 8. Visit macboost.net today.
Finding a sleep sack that my baby likes has been a struggle. The sleep sack from Joy is a major upgrade.
It is all natural eucalyptus, which is breathable and hypoallergenic, which is really great for your baby's sensitive skin.
And it's made with Climatech, which regulates your baby's temperature.
You can also get Joy's crib sheets, which are made of the same super soft material.
Joy gave my baby comfort
and gave me peace of mind.
At Mapiful, we believe in celebrating your journey, past, present, and future. Our unique personalized products are designed to boost your confidence, elevate creativity, and honor what matters most. From custom home decor to meaningful gifts, we help you cherish the memories that make you who you are. Visit mapiful.com and start celebrating your story today.
Maud Lily is your go-to for stylish and affordable fashion that fits your life. Whether you're looking for the perfect swimsuit for a beach day, a chic dress for a night out, or cozy tops for everyday wear, Maud Lily has it all. Their extensive collection of swimwear, including bikinis, tankinis, and one-pieces, always keeps you on trend, while their dresses and tops come in flattering styles for every occasion. Visit maudlily.com today.
Pete Sousa Show rolls on. One last thing we have for you today as we wrap up our show. The BYU Cougars have made a huge announcement out of their athletic department. Zach, let's take a look. New director of athletics, Brian Santiago. And I applaud the Cougs once again. Now, a lot of times when stuff like this happens, this is a major job. So once there's news or talk about BYU's athletic director, I think it was Tom Holm, I think. Forgive me on the last name. I never actually had an opportunity to meet him when I've been out there calling games. I'm sure there were a lot of people that were put in front of the folks, the decision makers in Provo and maybe around the country, right? There's a lot of folks affiliated with BYU and the LDS that, it's quite possible that certain big wigs could have been turned away for this job. And the reason why they were turned away, because of the brilliant move to hire one of their own. Brian Santiago is, by the way, he's got basketball roots. He started at BYU in 1997, right, with the university as a member of their basketball coaching staff. Now he's going to be their athletic director. In between, right, in 2008, I think he was named a director of athletics, not the athletic director, but I think a manager. And then in 2017, he became the deputy AD. And that job, I know that job just from being around college sports. When you're the deputy AD, you are very involved with 10, 15 sports around campus. And you're really you truly are the next in line, right? And so things are going so well at BYU. Why would you make it a drastic change? And they didn't. And that's the key to sustaining greatness and continuing the uptick at a university like BYU, which is truly, we've seen what's happened to their athletic department. The football team last year, lights out. Basketball as well, making the Sweet 16 for the first time ever, I think. Or not the first time ever. But they've never been to a Final Four or championship, right? Trying to earn that, right? And do that with a new coach and a new program that continues to accrue talent because they're good at it and they have the resources to make it happen. This is a huge move for BYU, and I got to give them huge props because it is so easy. Look, man, being around some major college universities and growing up around Villanova, whenever a job like that opens up, I just know the significance that decision takes on within not just an athletic department, obviously, but a school, and how an athletic director can completely change the direction a school is going in and can catapult them to a whole nother level financially or from a marketing standpoint or from a public awareness standpoint around the country. And BYU did not go outside of itself, right? I talk about this being in recovery and being, sober for 13 years. You got to get out of yourself, right? In order to help other people and to move the right direction in your life in recovery, right? That's fulfilling. Go outside of yourself. BYU didn't do that because they had no reason to, right? On a much different level, they stayed within themselves and made a brilliant decision to hire one of their own. So you got to say big time props to BYU. I feel so good about where they're going and the fact that they're a part of the Big 12, the fact that I get to call games in the Big 12, and the fact that they continue this rise is a lot of fun. Although, I love the BYU Baylor rivalry that is now brewing with my man Rob Wright out in Provo, right? One of my Philly guys, one of my own. So that's good news for BYU. NBA basketball, huge one tonight. The New York Knicks have an opportunity to make the Eastern Conference Finals. They're the favorite to win the Eastern Conference now. I don't know when the last time we talked about that. The New York Knicks actually being favorites to win the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, I think everybody needs to pump the brakes because the Pacers are the hottest team in the NBA right now. And you can't deny the fact that the Knicks, you know, they have won 3 games and the Celtics have won 1. Like, you know, Tatum injury aside, because, I mean, literally that happened. The Knicks had that game, I want to say, locked up. Maybe a healthy Jason Tatum can whittle that down to 2 points. I don't know. But, yeah, it's pretty amazing to see what the Knicks have done. They're an underdog tonight on the road in Boston. I think I have it here. Let me give you that spread because I wrote it down. They are Boston is a 4.5-point favorite at last check. Okay, Knicks favorite to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. One last NBA thought before we get out of here. I watched the end of the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Denver Nuggets last night. Joker's out of control. Like, he is so good. 44 points, 15 rebounds. I really, it's one of those deals where, like, you know, I don't watch as much West Coast basketball probably as I should. And when I watch this guy, it is like, I'm like, oh, that's right. He's one of the best players of all time. And I really don't think people watch him enough to be able to weigh in on him, right, accurately. He's amazing. And it is funny. I will say, Kendrick Perkins tweeted out, when people say LeBron is tired or fatigued, they doubt his legacy and his greatness. But when Joker's fatigued, he needs help, right? I think two things can be true at once. I don't think LeBron's fatigue has any impact on his legacy as one of the best players of all time. And I do think Joker could use a little bit of help. That game last night was awesome. And forgive me, I don't remember who was interviewed. I legit was falling asleep at this point. But on Inside the NBA, they interviewed a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder. It wasn't SGA. But the guy who was talking was so, like, one of the last things I heard when I was going to bed was like, hey, we are familiar. And the Knicks have shown us this. And it's such a way to look at life, really, not just basketball. The average swing in a game is 12 points in either direction. So if you're playing in an NBA game and you're down 12 points, that is status quo. But a lot of times you're down 12 points mentally, you can pack it in, right? You get down 12-14. The Knicks have been down 20, I think, 3 times and have won those games. So clearly they've shown you can do it, and the NBA now is more than ever a game of runs. But that's a lot like life, right? Like, you get down, like really down, like 20 points down, and you're inside, you're like, I got to give up. But, like, you spend enough years on the planet, you start to understand that, like, oh, I can come back from this. Like, this, I've been down by 20 before and won. So what's true in the NBA on the court this postseason is always true in life. And that's a final thought I leave you with. And I promise I didn't plan that Jerry Springer style. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm trying to get Keith O'Brien, who wrote the Charlie Hustle book on Pete Rose, to talk with us tomorrow about Pete Rose and his legacy. I think there's a good chance that happens. Otherwise, there's a real good chance you will see myself tomorrow. Zach Burke, amazing job keeping us on the air, as Scotty Swingler likes to say. We'll be back tomorrow. The Pete Sousa Show rolls on, presented by Slovacics.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me, and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is stark.
We are Rogue Media Sports.